Good morning and a very warm welcome to the You've Earned It Retiree Reflection video series, which is featuring real conversations with people who are in the pre or post-retirement stages of their lives. And You've Earned It, or YI as we are also known, is hosting this video series. But I'd also like to give a big thanks to the sponsor of the video series, Just SA. And today we are interviewing a pre-retiree, and she is plotting and planning her retirement. She is a person who is nearly in the third part of her life, and she is intent on helping others. And she will be sharing her intention of living a long and healthy life, despite the fact that she does have a health challenge. And importantly, she plans to be as financially secure for as long as she possibly can. And also, she believes, as do I, that knowledge is power, and as you approach and enter retirement, and she plans to share some of that knowledge with you today. So I'm really thrilled to introduce you to our guest today. She is an ex-KZN lady. Well, I don't know if she's ex, but you can tell us. But she spent time in Cape Town. She is living in Johannesburg now. And by all accounts, from what she's told me, she has no intention of slowing down in retirement. And she is planning to make her retirement really matter. So a big, warm and hearty welcome to you, Mahliki Ndlovu from Johannesburg.
Thank you very much, Marilyn. It's so nice to talk to you as well. And
Lovely.
Welcome to everyone.
Thank you very much for joining us. So Mahliki, what I want to know from the get-go is, I know you're 56 and you've shared that with me, and I know that you're planning retirement, but I would like you to tell us a little about your family and your profession, what you're doing at the moment.
I'm currently in HR. I'm working in one of the retail hardware shops in South Africa. And I'm based in Joburg. I'm staying with my hubby and my kids and the grandkids.
Oh, all in one house.
My one daughter is staying with us, and the other one is has her own house.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes. So
Wonderful.
I'm staying with my one daughter and one grandson.
Okay, lovely. And Mahliki, during our previous conversation, you told me that you've got a health challenge. And can you tell us more about that and how you're managing it?
Yeah. Firstly, I've just learned that my condition is it's a genetic one, and I was diagnosed in 2012 formally, but while I was in Cape Town, I had like a couple of episodes, and when I went to see the doctor at that time, they were not too sure of what was happening, but the doctor did tell me that my body is attacking itself. Oh. So, which I couldn't understand at the time, but when I moved down to Joburg and then things started to get worse, I think the age as well was at play. And in 2012, that's when I was diagnosed with lupus. It's a difficult word, but in short, it's SLE and CLE. So I've got two conditions. One, it's SLE. They are all lupus related. It's a systemic lupus, and the E, it's a different name. I can't pronounce it, but it's a systemic lupus. That means it's attacking my systems. That's my liver. It will attack the liver, the brain, the lungs, the heart. Yeah. But and the kidneys. But mine, it's a systemic lupus nephritis. So it has attacked my liver, my kidneys, I'm sorry. It has attacked my kidney, and the CLE, and that one attacks the skin. So I've been having some serious skin issues on my face, though not the whole body, it's just my face. But it's not a curable condition, but you can manage that. I've living with it for just over 10 years now, and if I look at the other people who are living with lupus, I will say I am managing it well. And the other thing I learned, my aunt, who's from my mother's side, and one of my cousins, they also diagnosed with lupus. That's why I'm saying it's a genetic. So I got it from my mother's side, and one of my daughters as well has got lupus.
Oh, gosh. Goodness, that sounds absolutely hectic, and it really does sound as though it's being passed down through the family. And very sorry to hear about your daughter as well. How old would she be now?
She's 35.
35, so that is young. But the one good thing is you did mention that you are managing the lupus through medication and a healthy diet and exercise. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, what can I say? Lupus is more what you eat and what you do physically. So for me, it's when I read, I normally read on Google and I read on books. I've got a couple of books that I've got that are talking about lupus. It's more the diet. There are certain foods we are not allowed to eat because they are affecting the system, and then there are food that we have to eat to keep healthy. And the unfortunate part is that it's those favorite foods that I'm not supposed to eat.
Oh, yeah.
As a lupus person, you're not supposed to eat food that grows underground. That means your potatoes and things like that. But yeah, I'm still struggling staying out of potatoes, but I try to minimize that. I eat less of that. I eat less of carbs. But there are carbs that you can eat. I still eat the sweet potato, for instance, but I can't eat the butternut. But I can eat the pumpkin. What else? You can eat the carrot, funny enough, even though it's one of those, there's a technical term that they use for the food that grows under the soil. And I limit my meat intake, especially the red meat. That also, let me tell you a story. In 2021, I had a terrible breakout on my face, and it was getting shingles and gray patches. And I went to one of the dermatologists, and she just said to me, instead of wasting a lot of money buying skin facial products, and which are very expensive, if I can mention that, she says, why don't you stop eating meat and dairy products for 3 months and see what's gonna happen? And I was like, yeah, at this moment, I'll try everything, because the skin was very sensitive, very itchy, and very sensitive to sunlight as well. I stopped for 3 months. I ate vegetables, and I learned to cook the vegetables in the process. And I promise you, 2021 until June 2022, I didn't eat meat, not once. And my skin has improved. People are just so surprised. And I stopped wasting my money buying all those expensive products. And I'm still keeping that way. I eat less of meat and more of vegetables. And also I exercise. That's very important, that you also need to exercise. And especially for us with systemic lupus, because excuse me, because it helps me to strengthen the systems on my immune, and I keep healthy. So I exercise a lot, because even a small thing that like a small cold can trigger a lot of other things in your health. I've also, with the lupus, I'm also on the medication for my blood pressure, which goes terribly up and sometimes terribly down. So I need to keep that in check every time. But with the exercises, that really helped me a lot.
Fantastic.
Hence I said, maybe, not a maybe, when I decide to retire one day, I still need to continue with my exercises as well.
Yeah.
Medication wise, like I said, it's there's no cure at the moment for lupus. So to keep my health in check, I have to take some medications, unfortunately.
Yeah. But am I correct in thinking with the exercise that you're doing 10 kilometers a day or 10 kilometers regularly a week? Tell me more. Is that correct?
Okay. I work a lot, firstly.
Yeah.
I make sure that in a day I take 10,000 steps.
10,000 steps.
Yes. And then on weekends, when I have time, then I do my 10Ks.
Fantastic.
It's a combination of walking and running.
Okay.
And then I, every morning, three to four times a week, during the week, I wake up in the morning and I do walk. Not that much walking, but I do about 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers.
But even so, you're 56 years old and walking 10 kilometers regularly, that is a complete achievement and feat in itself. I mean, that is incredible. And so, gosh, well done to you. But and yeah, I think also something I thought about while you were talking, given that you have lupus, have you thought about how you're going to cover healthcare expenses as you get older and when you retire?
That's one thing that's always on my mind, and we've made some inquiries, and the last check I saw at will I not be advertising the company now? But anyway, it's gonna help people to check. I went to this camp to check, and they've got a health insurance, something that I'm busy looking into, which I've done some quotations, which is much cheaper compared to the medical aid that I'm currently paying, which I think it's gonna be a best option for me, because it covers everything that the medical aid covers. So I'm looking into that. But having said that, I'm also looking, because I don't know how much the medical aid will cost when we retire, because at the moment I get a subsidy from work, which when I retire, I won't have that luxury. I'm looking into taking this medical insurance as a backup plan, maybe downgrading the medical aid at the moment, but doing the two combinations. But it's something that I'm looking at the moment. It's not definite, but I can't get out of the medical aid, not in this current health systems that we have in South Africa. Unfortunately, I can't take that risk.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got quite a lot of decisions to make.
Yes, I do.
But now also you've mentioned to me that you have an 89-year-old mother in KZN who's bedridden, and that having your living with your daughter and your grandchild makes you a member of the sandwich generation, looking after both children and parents. And in your case, you're also looking after grandchildren. But how are you managing that? And have you got any advice for others who are perhaps looking after parents as well?
Look, For us, especially with our African culture, we're not very keen into placing our parents in a retirement home or anything. And for me, I think it's something that I planned earlier to say this time will come in our lives. So we have to prepare for it. And fortunately, I've got a support from my two sisters and my brother, which we all chip in and making sure that my mom gets all the assistance, all the care that we can give to her. And unfortunately, she broke her hip and she went for an operation, even though the doctors did mention to us because of her age, it might be a long haul to recovery. Unfortunately, she became better, but because she didn't get enough of a physio training, and then she's now bedridden. But we do have a help who is looking after my mom 24/7. She's staying with us with my mom at home. I still have my brothers and some nephews and nieces also who are looking after her. And my eldest sister is also a nurse by profession. She's a sister, so she stays in KZN and in the same township as my mom. So she always comes in and check on her. And fortunately as well, my mom's sisters as well, they've been of great help into making sure that we cope with whatever issues that my mom might have. So in that way, I'm so fortunate that I've got a very solid family who can also support us.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. But now, changing tack a little bit, tell us about the retirement that you and your husband Sipho have planned.
So my husband comes from the rural of KZN in the Midlands, and we've got a family house there. So our plan, firstly, we didn't want to stay in the rurals, but I think with us growing up and visiting the area, we kind of like the environment there, because also it gives us a lot of opportunities every time when we go there. We've made it a family ritual, if I can call it that way, where on a Christmas morning, we wake up at 5 o'clock. We stay in just behind the Drakensberg mountain. So we climb the mountain.
Wow. What a magic way. And you climb up on Christmas morning at 5 o'clock?
Yes.
Wow.
5 o'clock, we wake up. Whoever is at home on that day, we all wake up and we climb the mountain. And it's very nice. Even the kids are enjoying it. Yeah. And it's a nice view up on the mountain. And the other side of the mountain, there was this natural springs, where when you go down that side, you can just go and dip your body there, and it's cool, fresh water, no contamination, nothing.
Lovely. Now, what magic way to start Christmas Day. What a pleasure. Mahliki, just to get on to a few sort of retirement kind of questions. You told me that you wanted to retire at the age of 60. And when you looked at your financial plan, you decided that you needed to defer to 65 or 62. I'm not sure. Can you tell me about that briefly?
Yeah, my plan was to retire at 60 or even before that. But with the economic situation in South Africa, it affected my investments. So then I had to review in that. But one thing I'm sure of, I don't want to work beyond 63.
63.
Financially stable or not. Age 63, that's it.
That's
I'm
it.
taking a time off. I need to live my life and enjoy. And also, hence, we've started planning on what are we going to do. We don't want to start at age 60 to start doing something which is going to sustain us throughout our retirement. So we've looked at the farming, we've looked at the different types of farming. We've started with the farming, but we also looking into going hydro farming, which is an in thing, and we've started very small at the balcony of our complex. So
yeah.
we eating some of the vegetables that we are planting there. But we looking into that. We've got a big plot at home, and we also looking at, because that one, it's a family plot. We looking into buying our own plot where we're going to continue with farming, agriculture mostly.
Yeah, very interesting. And tell me, do you have a financial advisor to manage your retirement investments, and have you figured out how much money you need to retire comfortably?
I used to have when I was in Cape Town, and then when I moved down, we still used to keep in touch, but I haven't for some time now. But I do have a family. It's a cousin of mine who works in a financial institution. But to be honest, I haven't really sat down and like have a serious discussion on these are the plans that I'm planning and how am I gonna fund those projects that I'm busy doing. But it's something that's in the pipeline and something that I am looking into. It's just that I haven't put any effort into making it a reality.
Okay, so the time will come for that. And I mean, there is a risk that you could outlive your savings and investments. How are you going to manage that risk? Or will you discuss that with a financial planner or advisor?
That's the one thing that will be on the agenda when I meet with the financial advisor into saying the only thing that I've done is, fortunately for me, I've got Sanlam, which they've got nice programs on their website, and you can do the projections and I always look into those things. And it's just that now I have to seriously take looking into that and have like some serious advice on how do I looking at my financial figures at the moment, how do I make it stretch a little longer? You know, these days what do we call, people live longer.
Oh, longevity is real. Yeah.
Than before. I mean, my father had cancer at the age of 89, 88 as well. Unfortunately, he passed away because of cancer. And I'm looking, did he not have cancer? He would have lived longer. My grandfather from my mom's side, he was 105 when he passed away. Really? My mom is already close to 90. So I'm like thinking, can be either from my father's side and my mother's side, I might live longer. So I need to prepare for that. I mean, I'm planning to retire at age 63. Maybe I still have like 20, if I'm lucky, 20 years to live. So I need to be able to sustain that time and beyond if I'm lucky. So Absolutely. Those are the things that I am looking into. It is just that now I'm still working and I still feel very young, and it's in the back of my mind. I am reading about it, but at some point I need to start taking it seriously.
No, I think so. And just a couple more questions. Do you, if you're in your 50s, you've already got this purpose for retirement, what would your 25-year-old self do differently in terms of saving for retirement if you were to do it all over again?
You know, for me, I would have started earlier to save, not only the retirement, and also just to have my retirement and an investment on the side.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would have done that, and I would have maybe plan things much better. Like now we're thinking of buying a plot. If I had bought the plot maybe about 10 or 15 years later, I would have gone a long way to ensure that I have a solid retirement without having to worry about my finances. How am I going to get by in every day? So my advice to my kids are always saying, start now and save.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And then when last question, when you think about retirement, what excites you most? And I know you have this project and the agricultural project you're going to do, and you're going to be helping ladies, and you're going to try and get them fit in their own old age, I guess, getting people fit. Is that correct? What excites you most about all of that?
One thing that excites me most is I will have more time to spend with my family, to spend with my community. Like I said, we're coming from the rural area, and I see the women every day, the people every day. Some of them, you can see that, you know, these people given a chance, given the means, given the education, they can do a lot. There's a lot of milli fields there, but we so hell-bent in going to the city and work, and yet we're sitting with a lot of wealth in our backyards. So I have started talking to some of the ladies to say, guys, let's start a co-op, let's start doing something instead of every day going to buy vegetables, for instance. They're very expensive, but we've got fields in our background, and we can plant some few things just to sustain ourselves, to feed our families, whatever extra, then we can make a lot of money. It's just that we grew up in an environment where it says, for you to be able to live better, you have to go out to the city and work. Yet we've seen the unemployment rate, and it's growing every day.
Yeah. I think that the ladies back home in your community are probably very excited for you to retire, so that you can get this whole project going. It's very exciting. But Mahliki, we've come to the end of the section, or the end of this interview, and I really want to thank you for taking part in this Retiree Reflections video series. And I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts on the plans you've got for your retirement. It's really been very insightful. And also I want to thank you for sharing all those aspects on your health journey, which has not been easy, to say the least. And I think what is so important is that your attitude towards your health issues are remarkable, and they are so positive. And all I can say is that we really wish you well in this new journey of life, and I hope that we can catch up with you. Take Zoom with you when you go and retire in the rural area, so I can catch up with you and find out how it's going. And because it will be very, very interesting. And I think you certainly are planning a really good life for yourself and for your husband as well. And we wish you absolutely well and all the best. And thank you so much, Mahliki. Really lovely to talk to you and hear all your plans. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. And also, I've always been following your page. you've earned it. And I do read a lot and I do learn a lot. And I think some of the things that I'm doing at the moment, it's things that I read from your page, which I never thought one day they will affect me. But your page was an eye-opener for me to say, hey, get a wake-up call, girl. You're going there one day.
We're
And
all
thank
getting
you
a
so
little older,
much.
Mahliki, all getting older. But that's lovely to hear, and I thank you for that. And as I said, it's been so nice chatting to you. And we will keep in contact with you and see how all your lovely plans transpire. And all the best with that. And speak to that financial advisor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.